as you know. And yesterday we went live to talk about the word of the day, faith. Now, me coming on live is just to give you all encouragement during the day. This is a part of my channel, which is called Seek First the Kingdom, where we come together, and I encourage you all as the Lord leads me to encourage you to be ignited inwardly in the fire and fired up for the Lord. Amen. For all that He is in your relationship with Him, and also drawing, especially His watchmen, to Him. And so, I just want to encourage you today because just in my experience as I've been growing in the Lord over time, just being honest and real with you all, just out of testimony, because according to Revelations 12 and 11, it says, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, and we love not our lives unto death. Amen. And so in my walk with the Lord, I personally can testify that the Lord helped me grow in faith. Amen. According to Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, it tells us that He is the author and the finisher of our faith. And so I say that because we are not doing this faith walk alone. Amen. And so in our walk with the Lord, He will help us, right? He gives us the instructions, but not only will He give us the instructions, He also gives us the strength. Amen. He gives us the wisdom. He gives us the intention. He gives us just everything that we need, right? He's Jehovah Jireh. He's our provider. And so we don't have to do this in ourselves. And so my testimony is that there was one time where I had to move, right? I had to make a really important move in my life. And the Lord was calling me to move. And before that, He had me remember, like he strategically had me remember just how just right before I was taking like leaps of faith, but not as big, but it was like little and bigger and bigger and bigger leaps of faith that He would call me to do out of obedience. And so I realized that before, like my leap of my faith, I would say my faith, good afternoon. I would say my faith, and we're talking about faith here today, right? And so I'm just sharing my testimony because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, and we love not our lives unto death. And so I'm saying this because in my testimony, I was having to move. Amen. I was having to move. And this was me moving states. This was me moving about 8 hours away. And the Lord called me to move for, job purposes and all the things. And I was a little bit hesitant. I sought wise counsel. I was asking, just trying to make sure that I'm making the right decision, right? I even was, I was praying over and over and over. And sometimes we find ourselves, amen, amen. And so sometimes we find ourselves like overthinking about a decision that God already told us to make, amen. Sometimes we're overthinking. So, and I don't know who this is for, but sometimes we're overthinking something God already told us to do. And so I want to encourage you today that in your faith walk, God will give you the provision. He will give you the strength. He will give you the helpers. He will give you the financial. Hi, my name is Prayer Warrior Shy, or Shayana. This is my channel where I help encourage others in the word of the Lord, and to seek the word of the Lord, and to seek relationship with Him. Amen. And so in my testimony, I'm trying to finish it, right? But I'm trying to give you the details because God is in the details. Amen. But basically, in this move, the Lord had, right before He told me to move, He literally called me to several acts of faith right before that move. And what He did was build up, I guess, my reservoir of faith, so that when it came to that moment where I had to move about 8 hours away where I lived from families and friends and all of the things, I was able to take that leap of faith. And so I encourage you today to take that walk and leap of faith, amen, in the name of the Lord, and know that you're not doing it alone, right? Because faith without works is dead, amen. And so maybe the Lord is calling you to do something that seems a little hard. I do encourage you to seek the Lord, His wisdom, and even wise counsel if He called you to. But take the step nonetheless, amen. The step that He called you to take, He knows why. He knows how, the where, the whys, and the hows, and all the things, right? And so I just pray that you're all encouraged today. I just came on to encourage you in your faith walk, and especially go back. If you're needing more faith, if you're feeling like, Lord, I just don't have enough faith, go back to His word, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when you're reading the Word, and when you're applying it to your life and you're spending time and meditating on it day and night, you are literally creating your intimacy with the Lord, right? You're growing your intimacy with Him. Amen. And so I just want to encourage you all. Love you guys and have a blessed day. Amen.